Good morning, everyone. Let me find the clicker. It's wonderful to be here. I'm usually sitting in the audience enjoying the presentation, so today I have to pay back for all the knowledge I gained from this wonderful community. As you heard, I was born a long, long time ago in a country far, far away in Iran. And I fell in love with the night skies. I fell in love with the stars, and I wanted to learn all there is to know about space and stars and the cosmos. I loved astronomy. I wanted to become an astronaut. I thought that it would be easy. I even drew it up, how I'm going to get there. I had a plan all laid out. But it didn't work out the way I planned it. It worked out in a roundabout way. But as you can imagine, you know, being a young girl in Iran, growing up, no space program, I don't think anyone believed I could make it come true. I was very, very fortunate to be one of a very few group of people, about maybe a little over 500 people who've gone to space, and I was able to do that through the Russian Space Agency, and had to pay for my way up there, so didn't want to burden the taxpayers. But this is my launch vehicle. As you can see, actually, the resemblance with what I drew. So I like to tell people I am really good at predicting the future. So this has been my dream and a passion of mine. As you saw from the drawing, it started with just imagination, imagining myself flying and just not giving up on that idea, even though I was in a place where there were no space program. I was, not someone who would be able to just easily go and apply to become an astronaut. So imagination, to me, it's an amazing, wonderful gift we have as human beings. It's very unique to us. And as children, we use it really well, and as we become practical adults, we forget how to use it. And it's usually just, spark of an idea, something we saw someplace. I was a big Star Trek fan, I still am, and was inspired by a lot of things I saw there, or science fiction books. I love science fiction books. And soon you start seeing yourself in those characters, people that you read about in the books, and then you use props, or you find ways to make it come true. And for me, just dressing up, reading books, attending conferences was a way of keeping that flame of passion for space alive while I was building companies in tech that had nothing to do with space. But eventually, thankfully, my success in technology as an engineer helped me actually make my dream of going to space come true. I was just in junior high when I came to US, and I thought growing up, I thought, there will be a Star Trek world when I am an adult. But coming to US, trying to look for a Starfleet Academy was impossible. I couldn't find one. So my dream of being a science officer on board Starship Enterprise went out the door also. But nevertheless, I didn't give up on it. And you heard about the sponsorship of the XPrize. That was sort of my way of trying to find my path to space. And it was very fortunate because met Peter Diamandis. He had read about my passion for space and was trying to get funding for this prize he had announced without any money. And he knocked on 150 doors, CEOs, philanthropists. Everyone told him it's too risky, too risky. Of course, today no one thinks XPrize is risky. But at that time, he came to me, and as an entrepreneur, I thought about it, you're actually not going to have to pay someone until they show that they can do what they say they can do? Well, all your investors here would appreciate that, right? You will say, I will give you your 10 million once you have the product ready. So to me, it was de-risking R&D, and it was a wonderful way of also making my dream and millions of other people like me, those dreams come true. So we became sponsors. The best thing about this model, which now we are applying to other problems, is the fact that you can get a leverage. So with the $10 million prize money, we attracted $100 million of investment. 26 teams from 7 countries were competing for this. And it opened up an industry that, anywhere between 10 in the future, $100 billion or more will come out of it. And this is why you have a CDL space track here, because commercialization was a pipe dream. Anyone who talked about it, it was just, no one was looking at how they can build businesses related to space. But now it's an everyday thing. And we've done other space prizes, Google Lunar. We just had an Israeli team made an attempt, and they landed on the moon, not in one piece, but nevertheless, they landed on the moon. And we've launched $150 million of prizes, 17 prizes, and we've awarded a lot of them. I just came from Monaco when we awarded the Ocean Discovery XPrize that has advanced autonomous undersea vehicles technology tremendously, technology breakthroughs in battery life, in mapping technology, and before this prize, it would have taken about 600 years to map the entire ocean floors. And now with the new technologies, it will take 3 years, and the Pond Foundation has already launched the project with the winners to go ahead and do that. So we will have a full map of the ocean floors now. We have 2 active prizes. The reason I put them up here, not for advertisement for XPrize, but for the fact that it's very relevant to a lot of the fellows and people who, the students and the entrepreneurs who come to this session. So IBM Watson AI, we have teams competing to bring technologies and using AI and machine learning to solve SDGs. And Avatar XPrize, which registration is still open until end of September. That's the integration of robotics, sensing, machine learning, and to allow someone to be fully present in an avatar completely in a separate location. AI and space comes together for me at CDL, and I've seen entrepreneurs presenting ideas, and I see technologies advancing where a lot of these technologies are helping us here on Earth. So whether it's Earth observation and looking at how our environment changing and how we can do this, or looking outside the environment, outside of our planet. There's a big problem, as you can see, with space debris. And I actually talked to one company in the space track that is looking at this problem and solving this problem. One of the areas that I'm still looking for entrepreneurs, so this is a call to entrepreneurs to think about this, is, we talk about clouds and this cloud systems, which are nothing than, server farms, are growing rapidly. They consume lots of energy, they need cooling. Well, why don't we put them someplace where there's tons of energy and it's really, really cold in space? Not for real-time applications, but storage, backup, a lot of opportunities there to, in my opinion. Manufacturing in space is another area that I think will advance, whether it's 3D manufacturing of things astronaut needs to build settlements, or just actually moving manufacturing in space, whether it's to grow organs that sometimes in microgravity you can do better, but there are tons of medical applications there too. And we're going to have to access resources in space and try to find ways of harnessing maybe material from asteroids or on the surface of other planets or moons. One of the, as I said, I love astronomy, so we did a project with a Frontier Development Lab and NASA where we looked for using AI, and lots of students worked on how they can find exoplanets and modeling that will allow us to find Earth-like planets out there. I don't know if you recognize this. Anyone in the audience recognize HAL? Yes? Well, it's coming true. There is a robot astronaut assistant on the space station now. The name is not HAL, but and I don't think it wants any association with HAL, but it's starting to really, AI and machine learning and space are really, truly are merging together and opening up new possibilities. But as someone who's been involved with technology for a long time, and so I have many of you guys out here. We also know that technology is a tool, but how we use it and what deep questions we ask ourselves, and the fact that we have this power and how we use this power is critical to the future of humanity. We are at a very critical moment in time in humanity's history. The power that individuals have is incredible. But at the same time, the power that very large corporations have, a few large corporations have, is also incredible. So how do we balance this? The power of technology, our curiosity, the creative juices that we have, and the hard questions that we need to ask ourselves. And another reason I love this community, because I believe this is the community that asks the hard questions and comes up with the answers that are truthful and that it has humanity at heart and mind. And you know, we all know about exponential technology and how we really moved from thinking locally and linearly to global and exponential. And it has created chaos out there, as you can see with the political system. It's because we can't predict it anymore. Because when we don't control things, it brings about fear. And this fear continues to grow when we talk, you know, people talk about singularity and how by, you know, 2050, the entire humanity's, you know, knowledge, consciousness, power of thinking, if whatever you want to call it, can live in a machine. So when these things happen, you know, it creates fear and it creates chaos. And there are people in this room, people like us, who have to help make sense out of it. And it's a difficult thing because as engineers, we also love to just play with toys, with technology, and it's important for us to understand what's happening and the expected and unexpected consequences of everything we do. I had the privilege of being able to be on board a space station for 11 amazing days, best days of my life. And when I looked at our planet, I truly sensed this energy of life, this connectedness that connects us all together, and how we need to realize that and really, like the astronauts work together on the space station to preserve the life support system of the space station, of their home, of the place they live in. We need to start looking at our planet in the same way and how we can work together to preserve it, because no one else will come from outside to fix it for us. We need to come together and fix it ourselves.
Climate change,
deadly earthquake,
a suicide bomber,
terrorism,
nuclear device in the heart of the nation's capital.
It's no wonder that we're pessimistic. It's no wonder that people think that the world is getting worse. But perhaps that's not the case.
Perhaps we forget that we've only just begun.
Doing what's never been done before is intellectually seductive, whether or not we deem it practical.
What we're seeing is unfathomably new possibilities all of a sudden becoming available to us.
The future doesn't belong to the faint-hearted. It belongs to the brave.
You have to trust in something. Your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever.
We truly are living in an extraordinary time, and many people forget this.
So now technically your device is on. Can you tell? Can you hear me?
The yearning to do what we do in the service of something larger than ourselves.
Where did we come from? Are we alone in the universe? What is the future of the human race?
When you conduct those exercises, innovation follows just as day follows night.
We can do this. I know we can because we've done it before.
Stay hungry, stay foolish.
So it gives me great pleasure to be part of this community of creators, of dreamers, of thinkers and doers.